Hey guys, Shifty here, and welcome to Can I Beat Pokemon Emerald with Only One Spheal? I chose Spheal because it's an Ice type, and this is a Christmas special after all. Its stats are okay for the most part, with its HP being higher than anything else. For Ice moves, we get okay moves like Aurora Beam and Ice Ball, and then the overwhelmingly good Ice Beam. For Water style, on the other hand, it's Water Gun and Surf. That's it. And as far as TMs go, it's looking a bit sparse. For the rules of this challenge, no items in battle except held items, and I can only use Spheal in battle. With all that out of the way, consider subscribing and leaving a comment with which Pokemon you want to see me do this with, and your answer to the question on screen. Now, let's get into the challenge. I replaced Mudkip with Spheal so that May would have Sceptile, which is probably the harder of the two starters to fight. When I go to nickname Spheal, my buttons glitch out and just presses A a bunch, so now Spheal is officially named Checking out. We have a Lax Nature, which boosts defense and lowers special defense. Me personally, I would like to not lower any defense, but it is what it is. And we get the Thick Fat ability, so now fire is resisted, so that's something I guess. After I make my way through the first route, we get to fight May, and by this time I have Powder Snow, which nearly OHKOs Trico. So far so good. In the Petalburg Woods, we have to fight a Team Aqua Grunt, but he goes down to 2 Water Guns. Now it's time for Roxanne. As you can probably guess, the Rock Gym went pretty well with our Water type. We one-shot both her Geodudes and beat her Nosepass after a handful of Water Guns. One more very easy Grunt fight in the cave, and suddenly we're in Dewford. We go give Steven a letter, and then it's time for the hard part, the fighting gym. Brawly leads with a Machop, and it takes us down to just 18 HP before we can kill it. Next out is Meditite, and it's free as long as you hit it to stop Focus Punch. Then out comes Makuhita, which throws Spheal into orbit with a Vital Throw. Let me try again with Ice Ball, which, if you didn't know, is Ice type rollout, getting stronger every time until it misses. 2 Ice Balls takes out Machop, Meditite gets demolished, and Makuhita barely lives a level 4 Ice Ball, and after healing from its Citrus Berry, it still can't live a level 5 Ice Ball, winning us our second badge. Over in Slateport, I gotta give Devin the goods, and I get jumped by Team Aqua Grunts in the process. And it does get a little hairy at the end with Ice Ball triggering Carvanha's Rough Skin. Wait, hairy? Balls? Rough Skin? Did Manscaped sponsor this video? After a little trekking, we run into May again and we Ice Ball through her first 2 Pokemon, but not before Slugma lands a yawn, putting us to sleep as our Growlithe comes in. It gets us down to 32 HP before we wake and then KO with 2 Ice Balls. Now it's time for maybe the hardest fight of the run, Watson. At level 25, we get easily 2-shot by Voltorb Spark, so it's training time. At level 30, we can get past Voltorb just to lose to Electrike. At level 35, we Ice Ball through Voltorb, beat the shit out of Electrike because it got greedy and set up. Then Manectric comes out to kill us with Shockwave. On a different try, we get past Voltorb with about half HP, and Electrike dies to a level 2 Ice Ball. However, we still get parried off of Static. Manectric comes in on an electric weak Pokemon at half HP and paralyzed and decides to set up, letting us KO with an Ice Ball. Last is Magneton, which outspeeds and hits a Shockwave that barely lives on 7 HP and we KO with an Ice Ball. However, we can't celebrate too long as we have to go to see what Team Magma is doing up in Meteor Falls. After kicking them out, we have to go fight Maxie on top of a volcano. He leads with Mighty N, which Sand attacks to lower our accuracy, but it eventually goes down to a level 3 Ice Ball. Zubat comes in and we miss Ice Balls, but it's okay as 2 more KO it, but we get confused in the process. Lastly is Camerupt, and we hit ourselves 3 times before landing our Water Gun for a 1-shot. Now it's time for Flannery. Now if you're wondering how the Fire Gym went with our Water type, that's right, it was really easy, but not for the reason you think, because we actually Ice Balled our way through every single one of her Pokemon, never ever using a Water move. Coming off of that very easy win, I was feeling good, and then that all stopped because of one stupid ass Pokemon, Spinda. This asshole confused so bad we never got past it. Fuck Spinda and anyone who likes it, deadass. So on to level 43. Norman leads Spinda and we immediately miss our first Ice Ball, so Spinda gets a free Facade off. However, we KO with 2 Ice Balls after having to take another Facade. Next out is Slacking, which does pretty good damage but is also 2-shot by Ice Ball. Second last is Vigoroth, which thankfully doesn't crit slash and it fades to the last hit of Ice Ball. Lastly is Lanoon, which I read like a damn book and encored into Belly Drum so it can't attack, and we win the badge with a crit Ice Ball. After that, we had an easy fight at the Weather Institute, which we just Ice Balled through, and then we had a fight with May, which we also just Ice Balled through. Man, this move is fucking good. After doing some bullshit with Steven and some Kicklands, it's time to battle the Flying Gym with my Ice type. Swablu gets Ice Balled, Tropius gets Ice Balled, Pelipper protects and resists Ice Balls, so I Body Slam through it. Skarmory gets Ice Balled, and lastly Altaria gets Ice Balled all to hell. God, this move is good. After that, we have to make our way through the Magma hideout, and we find Maxie fucking around with Groudon and proceeding to find out. He leads with Mightyena, which decides to not hit us with an attack and just dies to 3 Ice Balls. Next is Camerupt, which decides to follow in Mightyena's footsteps and not attack and die to Ice Balls. Lastly is Crobat, but Ice Ball is simply too strong. God, this move is fucking good. Now, I did say that I can only use Spheal in battle, but I kinda have to have another Pokemon for the Tate and Liza battle, so I chose Tentacruel because it was the first Pokemon I encountered, and I kinda fuck with them, so yeah. At level 51, it is so far from a close fight, and to make a long story short, it wasn't even close until like level 55 when I got down to a one-on-one against Claydol, and we kept losing until like level 63. They lead Xatu and Claydol, and we take a little bit from Earthquake, but we get a KO on Xatu with Ice Beam. Solrock is out next, and I use Surf to hit both Pokemon, bringing them both below half. Unfortunately, Solrock sets up a Sunny Day, so Surf won't KO, and it has Solar Beam, so I decide to use an Ice Beam to KO it. Lunatone comes out, and I decide to KO Claydol first, and then 1v1 Lunatone, which thankfully misses both of its Hypnosises, allowing us to KO with 2 Ice Beams, winning us our second to last gym badge. After this, we have to go to the Space Station. I've never played Emerald before, so this is all new to me. We have a double battle with Steven, and I just click Surf for like 10 turns. It was pretty easy. Then we have to go to the Team Aqua hideout, and after a lot of struggling with a puzzle in a children's video game, I made it to the Maxi fight. And to make a 1 minute and 10-second fight shorter, we ice balled through everything. God, this move is broken. Now I have to go wake up Rayquaza to put Groudon and Kyogre to bed. I don't know, I've never played this game before. And then it's time for the 8th gym, after a pretty cool cutscene. And this one should be relatively difficult, seeing as water types resist both water and ice type, which is our stab attacks. Juan leads with Love Disc, and I lead. And after a lot of annoying attraction and confusion, we get through Love Disc. Wish Cache is second and starts setting up as we go for Ice Balls, and after using 4 of the 5 hits, we get through Wish Cache. Then Celio comes out, and because it resists both of our stabs, I'm forced to use Body Slam, and after a Hyper Potion, 3 Body Slams takes out Celio. Second to last is Crawdon, and it crits a Crab Hammer, but it goes down pretty easy other than that. Lastly is Kingdra, truly the demon of Juan's team. It immediately dodges Ice Ball and starts setting up double teams, and just as we actually start to hit Ice Balls, we miss, and it's at full health from rest. That's when I decide Ice Beam just makes infinitely more sense, and we 2-shot it, winning us the last gym badge of the run, meaning now it's time for a Wally fight. Wally leads Altaria, which as you can imagine gets super fucked up by Ice Ball. Then he switches to Magneton, only for it to die in 2 hits. Then Rosalie comes out to also die. Altaria comes back in for the second time and dies to an Ice Ball, and after sacking 3/5 of his team, he decides the best course of action is to try to put me to sleep with Delcatty's Sing. Needless to say, it didn't work and we kill it. Lastly is Gardevoir, and it dies to an Ice Ball and Body Slam. You know, if Wally didn't sack 3 Pokemon immediately, he might have actually put up a fight. Here is stats at level 69.
Nice.
208 HP with 112 defense and 90 special defense isn't too bad. Our offensive stats aren't bad either, so I'm pretty confident going into this. Sydney is first and he leads with Mightyena, and it just dies to a Surf. Cacturne dies to an Ice Beam. Absol sets up SD and lands a nasty Rock Slide on us, but it dies to 2 Ice Beams. Second to last is Shiftry, which is dead as shit to an Ice Beam. And last is Crawdon, and I'll be honest, I have no idea why I decided to click Ice Ball. It's objectively the worst move to pick in the situation, but thankfully, we simply did not get punished and won narrowly. Phoebe leads with this lame-ass Dusclops that is just pressure plus protect stall, but we beat it down with a couple Surfs. Banetta's out second and it Thunderbolts for nearly half our HP, but thankfully Phoebe uses a full restore, which we can KO through and gain back a good chunk of health thanks to the Shell Bell. Dusclops comes out and dies to a level 4 Ice Ball, and Phoebe's second Bayonet dies to the level 5 Ice Ball. Lastly, Sableye dies to a singular Surf. This is probably going to be the hardest fight considering Glacia's team resists all of our moves except for Body Slam. We also can't make it very far due to the pair chance from Percelio's Body Slam as well as their attacks. 5 levels later and we can finally do something to this damn team because I finally used the TM for Return. I'll be honest, I don't remember why I didn't have Return on earlier, but it's here now. She leads Celio and I Ice Beam for a sliver of damage, and that's because Return never 2-hit KOs, so I need just a load of damage off the top. Next is Glalie, and I'll be honest, I don't remember why I went for Surf first because it doesn't look like I needed for chip damage, like with Celio. Either way, we KO Glalie pretty easily. Glacia's second Celio is out now, and this time I use Surf for the chip damage. Does this make a difference? Probably not. Second Glalie time, and it's dead as shit to 2 Surfs, and we barely take anything from its Shadow Balls. Lastly is Walrein, and we still have most of our health, so it's looking pretty good. Return's looking like a comfortable 3-hit KO, but that Surf is doing quite a bit of damage. And with Walrein Citrus Berry, I was getting very worried about us winning this. And then the Hyper Potion came out, and I got even more worried. Again, Return is an easy 3-hit KO, and we get 2 of them for free, but we still have to take a Surf, and it's close, but we barely managed to hang on and KO. Thank God for the Shell Bell and 0 crit Surfs. Anyways, after my life flashing before my eyes against Walrein, it's time for the Drake fight. He leads Shelgon and protects because he knows what's coming. His balls are coming, that's what's coming. Second out is Salamence, and he gets super killed by Ice Ball after missing a Rock Slide. Altaria hit a weak double edge and gets super killed. Kingdra Dragon Dances and gets super killed. And lastly, Flygon gets his name put in the news after we land an Ice Beam. Alright, to make a long story short, this is the hardest fight in the game, bar none. It's like Glacia on steroids, it's insane. Ludicolo does like 1,000,000,000% with Giga Drain, plus Milotic and Tentacruel have Toxic, and I'll be honest with you, we don't win until like level 100. And even then, it took a couple tries, and a little bit of strategy. Wallace leads with your mom, and thankfully she dies to a crit Return after setting up the rain. Ludicolo is next and decides double team is the right play, but it was in fact not the right play as Return does massive damage and we never miss, so Tentacruel is out next and this can make or break the attempt, as if it lands Toxic it's an immediate reset. Luckily it dies to a single Return. Milotic is out next and it also has Toxic, but thank every single god that it missed and we could KO it. Second to last is Wish Cache, and after some Ice Ball shenanigans it dies on the 4th hit of Ice Ball, meaning that Gyarados has to switch into a level 5 Ice Ball and it gets fucking one-shot. Let's fucking go. I'll be honest, this run was definitely something. It had its hard moments and it had its very easy moments, but was it fun? Maybe, I don't know. Anyways, thank you for watching, and leave a comment with which Pokemon you want to see me do a challenge like this with, and in what game. Also consider subscribing, as I'm 1 subscriber away from 300 as of the time of recording this. With all that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next Pokemon challenge. Peace.